Turn now to Mark Kagan. He's a former US Intelligence Analyst, now with the International Strategic Studies Association. Welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you.
Certainly a really tense time in the U.S. Does this law need to be in place, in your opinion, to protect American security?
It depends on which law you're talking about. If you're talking about the original
The
Patriot Act or the USA Freedom Act.
The Patriot Act itself, where the government actually collects the telephone numbers.
I have severe reservations about it. That's one of the reasons why the House passed the Freedom Act, because of those reservations. It's important in putting context in this, that as far as the bulk collection of all the telephone metadata that was going on, even within the intelligence community, there has been serious debate about this and its cost effectiveness. And at the time that it was first revealed by Eric Snowden and his leaks on what was going on at NSA, there had been an investigation or a study within the intelligence community, specifically within NSA, and they had concluded that it simply wasn't worth the resources and the money that was being spent on it.
What about the Patriot Act? What Rand Paul, or the Freedom Act, I should say, what Senator Rand Paul is pushing right now, which says the phone companies would actually hold on to this information. Is that easily as accessible for the government?
It should be as easily accessible, and it would have much more adequate safeguards than there is presently, because then the intelligence community would have to get warrants. Right now, there's basically no one to oversee it, and their view is basically just trust us.
Do you believe that terrorists or potential cells are watching what's actually going on in the U.S. right now?
I think they are, but they're not really putting it high on their priority list. They've got other things that they're more concerned with. My assumption is that they assume that they're being monitored in various ways, not just in this way, and in fact that is the case. And they take precautions, and in some cases those precautions don't work. So in the end, it's reaching a balance, but I don't think it's really going to have a major impact. I think that both sides have painted this in such draconian language that if it's eliminated, the world's going to collapse, and if it isn't eliminated, the world's going to collapse. I think that isn't the case.
How do you sort through all of this information, or how does the government sort through all this information?
That's a very good question, because say even 15 years ago, when the Patriot Act was first put out,
2001.
Exactly, the technology that's available today was almost unimaginable. The computer power and computer capabilities that we have today simply did not exist today. It was science fiction. The ability to go through billions, hundreds of billions, thousands of billions of messages, of metadata, of petabytes of information is done by incredible computer programs which are improving every year. If we go back to Moore's Law, where the computing power doubles every 18 months or so. So in this case, the capabilities and the technology has far exceeded the laws and the legal standards which we were operating by.
Smartphones and so much information. And where's the tipping point? Where do you draw the line?
Right, and we're constantly trying to catch up with that. And Congress, of course, debates things, and they debate things, and they debate things. And in many cases, either they don't have the time to really study it, or they just throw their hands up and say, let's trust them or let's not trust them.
Mark Kagan, thank you so much for your time and insight. We appreciate it.